You know that exhaustion of chasing someone who clearly couldn't care less about you? That pointless effort of trying to please, justify yourself, and in the end, realizing you were the only fool investing in the relationship? Well, it's time to put a stop to it. And the answer is simple: detachment. But hold on, don't get it twisted. Being detached doesn't mean turning into an unfeeling stone or a selfish narcissist. It's all about finally stopping to be a pushover, prioritizing your mental health, and understanding that absolutely no one deserves to take away your peace. Today, I'm going to explain how detachment can change the game in your life and relationships. No tricks, no magic formulas. Just stop being an extra in someone else's movie and take the lead role in your own existence. Ready to stop embarrassing yourself and start respecting yourself? Let's go. Oh, but first, let's be real. This content only exists because someone with good judgment already liked and subscribed before. So do the bare minimum, okay? Drop a like, subscribe, and leave a thanks in the comments. Not for me, but for the algorithm. Because if it relied solely on you watching for free, the content would die on the beach, and no one else would get the much-needed wake-up call. Enough procrastinating. Let's get to the point. Number 1, what does it mean to be detached anyway? When someone talks about detachment, a lot of people imagine a robot without feelings or an emotionally unavailable human being. Wrong. Detachment isn't about turning into an ice block. It's about having emotional balance and independence. It's realizing that you don't need anyone to feel complete because, surprise, you already came pre-packaged. Detached people aren't out there begging for validation or trying to please everyone, even the baker down the street. They know their worth doesn't depend on how many likes they get, or if someone didn't respond to a good morning on WhatsApp. They basically tell the universe, I'm cool on my own, but if an interesting companion comes along, I'm not complaining. Now let's clear things up. Detachment isn't synonymous with being a jerk. Detached individuals don't disappear without explanation, treat others like recyclable trash, or engage in ghosting as if it were a hobby. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Like, did you realize that someone only reaches out when they're in trouble? All right, cut that SOS channel and move on with your life. In practice, detachment means you're no longer losing sleep over things beyond your control. Someone changed their mind. A plan fell through. You give that classic, oh, okay then, and move forward. Because detached people know that life isn't a script. And frankly, most things aren't worth a drop of your stress. The bonus? When you free yourself from that emotional dependency nonsense, you start attracting people with the same level of maturity. No more toxic relationships or energy vampires. You make room for real connections based on what truly matters. And spoiler alert, this makes you someone much more interesting, confident, and irresistible. Now let me leave you with a thought. If you had to choose between being happy alone or with someone who drains your soul, what would you choose? Yep, that's the essence of detachment. Always opt for what brings peace, never for what holds you back. And speaking of worthwhile relationships, in the next section, we'll explore how detachment can transform the way you connect with others. Because believe it or not, detachment and love aren't opposites. They're best friends, as long as they're done the right way. Number 2, benefits of detachment in relationships. Detachment and relationships seem like a walking contradiction, right? Like, how is someone who doesn't care going to work in love? Turns out, detachment has nothing to do with not caring about the other person. It's about living a relationship without becoming an emotional doormat. And this mindset, my friend, is what changes the game. First, detachment has a superpower. It makes you incredibly attractive. When you're not desperate for a bit of attention or approval, people notice. It's like you're carrying an invisible sign that says, I don't need you, but if you want to add to my life, let's go. That confidence is magnetic. While most are out there begging for scraps, the detached person exudes calmness, doesn't force anything, and lets things happen naturally. Result? You become a magnet. Another huge benefit. No more stupid games. Detached individuals don't have time for playing around. No, I'm going to take my sweet time replying to seem uninterested, or let me disappear to see if they miss me. Want to talk? Talk!
Want to disappear?
Disappear for good. You're straightforward and honest because you know those who truly matter will appreciate it, and those who don't can take a hike. Now let's talk about the masterstroke. The respect that detachment brings. When you don't accept any crap, don't tolerate disrespect, and know how to exit the scene at the right moment, people notice. Why? Because no one values someone who's constantly chasing after attention. If someone treats you badly and you stay, the message you're sending is, please keep stepping on me more. The problem isn't the other person. It's you not respecting yourself. Want a practical example? You meet someone, you're interested, but you notice they only respond when they want. Don't make an effort to include you. Basically couldn't care less about you. What does a detached person do? They distance themselves. No drama, no long emotional texts, no humiliation. Just turn around and move on with their life. Result? The other side realizes you're not the type to accept being a second option. And that's pure power. But hold on. Detachment isn't about becoming an insensitive hermit. It's about loving without losing yourself. You can commit to a relationship without giving up your identity. Want to say no? Say it. Want to set a boundary? Set it. And you know what that does? It creates the foundation for a healthy relationship without the crises of, oh my God, I'm going to be abandoned. And the final bonus, detachment. Not only transforms your relationships, it transforms your life. It brings peace, clarity, focus, and the incredible feeling of no longer being a hostage to anyone. Want to know how this works in practice? Let's find out. But first, a quick heads up. If you're tired of being that invisible or trampled guy in relationships, check out the digital book in the description. It'll show you how your confidence and independence can be the key to changing the game. No games, no drama, and no becoming an emotional dependent. It's time to get off the bench and take control, don't you think? Number 3, how detachment improves your life. Detachment isn't just a tool to improve your relationships. It's the emotional equivalent of swapping an old Beetle for a Ferrari. When you learn to detach, your life takes a leap forward. You feel lighter, more focused, and finally find that famous inner peace everyone's searching for. Why? Because stopping the dead weight of emotional dependency frees up space for things that truly matter. First, the most obvious benefit. Your mental health thanks you. How many sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, and headaches have you accumulated over things that were never under your control? Yeah, all that is emotional junk. Detachment teaches you that you can't fix the world and that, surprisingly, sometimes letting go is the solution. It's like sweeping away the emotional mess you've built up over the years and finally taking a deep breath without feeling that knot in your throat. Next, there's the bonus of focus and productivity. When you're not stuck in a toxic cycle of, why isn't he, she replying? Or, did they even notice me? You have energy left over. Suddenly, your goals start to seem less impossible and more achievable. That idea you always postponed, whether it's learning a language, changing careers, or starting a business, finally makes room. Why? Because you stopped wasting your vital energy trying to save the Titanic from failed relationships or toxic friendships. And speaking of friendships, detachment also does a spring cleaning on your contact list. You quickly realize who's worth keeping close and who was just there draining your patience. That friend who only calls when they need a favor? Yeah, goodbye. And what's left? People who genuinely share your values, who want your company because they like you, not because they have something to gain. And you know what happens after all this? Your self-confidence skyrockets. When you stop needing others' approval, you discover the power of being okay with yourself, other people's opinions, irrelevant details. Because when you're comfortable in your own skin, the world can spin in any direction. You stay grounded. This confidence, besides being liberating, is magnetic. It opens doors in relationships, at work, and anywhere else you want to go. Now let's be clear. Detaching isn't about becoming a Tibetan monk and living isolated in a cave. It's simply about knowing what's worth your time and energy. It's learning that you don't need everything, but you deserve the best. It's about prioritizing your peace, your happiness, and what makes sense to you, leaving the rest behind without guilt. In summary, detachment puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. No more living for others, being a hostage to others' expectations, or begging for attention. When you detach, the focus shifts. You start living according to what makes you happy, not what others think you should do. Number 4, detachment as the last call to stop being a fool. Look, let's cut to the chase. If you still haven't figured out that detachment is essential, maybe you deserve to stay stuck in the pathetic cycle of begging for attention, collecting emotional crumbs, and living as an extra in your own story. But hold on, I'm not going to let you leave here without a reality check, because apparently that's the only thing that works for you. You know what happens to those who live dependent on others? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You get stuck in an endless loop of frustration, waiting for someone to save you, notice you, value you. And you know what people really think of those who live like that? Nothing either, because they're busy living their own lives while you're there, on your knees, begging for a bit of consideration. Detachment is about stopping being a damn doormat. It's having the courage to say enough to everything that sucks you in, diminishes you, and leaves you at the mercy of others' moods. You're not a satellite orbiting someone's planet. You're the entire universe, but as long as you keep acting like a nobody, no one's going to notice you. Want respect? Start respecting yourself. You know that saying, love yourself first? Yeah, it became a cliche because it's true. If you don't prioritize yourself, who will? Detachment isn't about being cold or selfish. It's about refusing to be the protagonist of a drama you never wanted to participate in.
It's letting go of trying to save broken relationships, chasing after those who don't care, or worse, thinking your happiness depends on someone who barely cares if you exist.
Want a practical example of how pathetic you've been? Remember that time you sent a message, waited hours, days, and when the reply finally came, you celebrated like it was a goal in the World Cup final. Yeah, shameful. Now answer me, why do you keep accepting so little? Detachment is putting an end to that pitiful behavior and understanding that if the other person isn't investing, the problem isn't them. It's you who still hasn't learned to value yourself. And you know what's the real slap in the face? Life isn't going to wait for you to learn this. Every day you spend stuck in that mindset is one less day to live something truly worthwhile. Time is passing, and while you're there wasting away over things that shouldn't even matter, the opportunities to be happy are slipping away. So I'm going to be very clear. Either you learn to detach and take control of your life now, or you can keep playing this pathetic show of emotional dependency until you realize too late that the world has moved on without you. Choose. But if I were you, I'd stop acting like a victim and start building the life you really want. One where no one uses you as a doormat. Final message. No one is going to save you. Either you save yourself or you sink alone. Want to keep waiting for a lifeline? Good luck. Want to change the game? It's time to get up and do what needs to be done. No drama, no excuses. The decision is yours. Let's be real. No one is going to hand you the life of your dreams on a silver platter. No one is going to love you enough to fix your insecurities. No one is going to hold your hand and guide you out of the hole you dug yourself. Either you learn to detach and prioritize yourself, or you'll keep lamenting your choices and repeating the same mistakes day after day. Detachment isn't about giving up everything. It's about letting go of what holds you back, what hurts you, what makes you less than what you're capable of being. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing someone who deserves more, who demands more, and who only accepts the best. Because let me tell you something, no one respects someone who doesn't respect themselves. So now is the time to decide. Are you going to keep accepting scraps and letting your life pass by like a movie without a protagonist? Or are you going to finally take the reins and become the person who not only survives but dominates their own destiny? Choose quickly, because time is running out, and the world isn't going to wait for you. If you've made it this far, you already know what you need to do. So stop procrastinating and do what needs to be done.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below what you're going to let go of today to finally take control of your life.
It's not for me, it's for you. And of course, for the algorithm that needs to understand that this content deserves to reach more people who need this same wake-up call. No more excuses. Go ahead and start changing now. The world is ready to see you shine. The question is, are you?